Welcome back to Catalan Soccer, guys. I'm Catalan Ben, and today we are bringing you the first episode of Football Coach Reacts. Now, the reactions in this video are going to be to drills that we don't think you guys should be running with your kids, but we see a lot of coaches doing and making very easy and common mistakes. In this video, there'll be a lot of opinions, and all this episode and this series is all based on my opinion as a coach that you guys may or may not disagree with. Now, if you disagree or agree, we'd love to hear all about that in the comments down below this video and have a discussion about your opinions on coaching. So let's get straight to the first episode of Football Coach Reacts. So in this episode, guys, we're going to bring you some very common drills that we see delivered online, and often they are not delivered to the best that they can be, or people have seen a little part of a drill and they start to run it and think that that's going to develop their player. Now, the drill you've probably seen yourself if you've watched any football coaching videos on social media, on YouTube or Facebook or anywhere else. So this is the one. A player stood in a box, receiving a ball from a coach, and then bouncing the ball back to the coach where it came from. Then, as a progression, coaches ask a player to scan and check over their shoulder, usually looking at an iPad or some kind of signal behind them. And then they ask for the ball again and bounce the ball back where it came from, straight back to the coach. There are a few progressions on this that we've seen, like receiving the ball, dribbling around a cone that's very close to you, and then passing the ball back to the coach again. And there's lots of different ways that we've seen coaches try and vary this, but ultimately the drill is the same. Receive the ball and bounce it back where it came from. Now, the drill is often the same, with players receiving the ball, bouncing it straight back to where it came from, and scanning over their shoulder. Now, a lot of coaches believe that by doing this, you're massively raising the awareness and the scanning ability of the player. But, as we should know, in a real game, when a player is looking over their shoulder, they're looking for more than just a colour or a number or an iPad. They're looking for pressure, they're looking for distances, they're looking for timings, they're looking for speed that other players are moving. And all those things are completely missing from these types of drills. The other thing that we see very commonly is the player checking over their shoulder, and then whether there's danger or not, or whatever colour or number they are told to shout out, then they bounce the ball back where it came from to the coach. But on doing that, they then stand still to receive another pass that's identical, and then they check the shoulder again, now with a different signal or a different colour shown behind them. Now, the reality is, if you've bounced the ball back where it came from in a game, 95% of the time, that is because there is pressure behind you and it's not a good area to receive the ball or not the right time for you to keep it. So you bounce the ball back where it came from to relieve that pressure, which totally makes sense. What doesn't make sense is then asking for the ball back again in the same place without creating any angle or any space to receive the second pass. Now, we understand that a lot of coaches have seen these types of drills maybe performed by a very, very good coach in a video, but then when they duplicate or they replicate them out on the training pitch, they don't know all the little tiny nuances that are making this a realistic drill or a drill that will actually benefit the players. There's very little to be gained just from passing the ball back where it came from and a check over the shoulder. And don't be fooled by technology. Just because there's an iPad screen behind a player, it doesn't mean it's making that player any better. Instead of using something like an iPad screen, we should be using another defender. So I get that that might be difficult in a one-to-one session, but if you've got any kind of group of kids, even as small as a pair of players, then you should be training with realistic defending and distances so that as that player is checking over their shoulder, they're looking at how far away the defender is. Is it the right time to bounce it? Are we able to turn with our first touch? How fast is the defender travelling? How much room and time do you have for your first touch? Should you spin or change direction with your first touch? So just because somebody is tight to you or is trying to take the ball off you under close proximity, it doesn't mean the ball should always bounce back where it came from. Sometimes you will be in an attacking part of the pitch, and when you can feel or you can sense danger behind you, or you've checked and scanned over your shoulder and you know that the player's tight, that's when you can spin, you can change the direction of the ball with the first touch, and you can turn going towards goal with your first touch. When I'm coaching my players, I like to coach them to be able to receive and turn at the same time. So if you're going to develop players who've got good awareness and are scanning over their shoulder and looking out for danger, then that's good. But when you're coaching them to check over their shoulder, if there is no danger behind them or if they have time to turn, then we shouldn't be bouncing the ball back where it came from. We should be receiving on the half turn, taking the ball on the back foot and driving forward with positive runs. And those exciting players, when they get the ball, they turn and they drive towards defenders. They don't just bounce the ball back where it came from. So yes, there are times in a game where bouncing a ball back to the source of the pass might be the right decision, but it's very infrequent that that happens, especially in kids football. Kids should be picking the ball up and turning and trying to make things more positive and drive forward with the ball. I often find that when kids are coached turning, they're coached to turn whilst dribbling. So they travel with the ball across an area and they Cruyff turn and come back the other way, or whatever the turn is that the coach decides. But dribbling and turning is only one type of turn. The other type of turn that not only is very relevant, but also extremely rare to find players that can do it at a young age, is to receive a ball and turn with one touch. If you want to check out a drill and a little video that teaches kids how to turn with their first touch to drive and make these positive runs, then check out the link just in the top corner here. And that shows you one of our videos where we teach you how to turn, all the little nuances of how to receive the ball with the inside of the foot on the half turn and then drive forward with the ball. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Are these the types of drills that do really develop players? Are there lots of things missing? Like I've said, where there's a lot of different ways that kids should be tested when receiving the ball, not just checking over their shoulder. Please let us know, guys, whether you agree or disagree down in the comments. We'd love to have a chat with all our coaches and all 14,000 of our subscribers that we've just reached. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will see you all in the next one. See ya.